I was on my usual delivery route when I saw the text from Jenna. We'd been engaged for 3 months, and I figured, like most couples, we were just figuring things out. But this text? It was different. We need to talk about the car. My friends say it's embarrassing you proposed in that beat-up thing. You just bought that dumb drone setup for $3,000. Time to trade up. My heart sank. The car, my car, was a 1984 Ford Bronco. I'd restored myself. It took me over a year and about $9,000 in parts and labor. Every time I turned the key, it reminded me of the hours I spent working on it, the pride I felt. I'd asked her to marry me in it. That was supposed to mean something. But here she was tearing it down. I replied, "Say no more." Her response came quick. A couple of heart emojis. I let it sit there for a minute, let her think she'd won. Then I grabbed the wheel tighter, my fingers digging into the leather as I drove, the engine growling beneath me. I knew what I had to do. I pulled into the used car dealership I'd visited a month ago, the same place I'd gotten it appraised. The sales guy didn't even hesitate. My info was still in their system. They made me a quick offer. Sold. Cash. After that, I went home, packed everything I could fit in my car. Clothes, a few boxes of random crap, and left a note inside the glove box of her designer purse. It wasn't much, but I needed to leave something behind. It read, "Sold the Bronco. You were right. You deserve more. Good luck finding it." I blocked her number, blocked everything. That night, I crashed at Marcus's place. Around 7 p.m., my phone buzzed with a flood of texts and missed calls. It was Jenna. I felt my stomach tighten as I scrolled through her messages. She was frantic, calling me everything from coward to heartless. She demanded to know where I was, accusing Marcus of hiding me from her. I tossed my phone aside. It felt like a lifetime ago that I'd been with her. Then the calls started, 20-something in a row. I couldn't even count them all. I let it ring, let it buzz. The voicemail notifications piled up, each one more frantic than the last. By the third one, she was crying, her voice cracking as she told me I was abandoning her, that she couldn't believe I'd do this to her. I pressed my palms against my eyes, trying to shake off the wave of frustration that was building up in me. This was exactly why I left. She didn't see me. She saw a version of me that she could mold. That Bronco wasn't just a car. It was my damn heart, and she was telling me it wasn't good enough. The thought made me sick. Then my phone lit up again. This time it was a message on LinkedIn. I didn't know if I should even open it, but I did. It was from Kayla, one of Jenna's friends, the only one who'd ever seemed remotely down to earth. I hesitated, not sure what to expect. "You need to know what really happened." I didn't hesitate long. I called her. When we met up, she handed me her phone with a tight look on her face. "I didn't know about this either, but I can't stay quiet anymore." I looked at the screen. It was a screenshot of their group chat. Jenna and her friends had a whole fiancé league. They scored their men based on how much they spent, how creative their proposals were, and even how often they gave gifts. As if relationships were just transactions. I could feel my blood start to boil. I stared at the number on the screen. 58 out of 100. The notes made my stomach twist. Proposal in an old truck. Gift frequency. Below average. Drone hobby instead of jewelry. I gripped the phone tighter, the edges biting into my palm. It felt like a slap in the face, each word echoing like a knife in my chest. Kayla was quiet for a second before she spoke again. "Seeing you walk away, it made me think. We've all been treating guys like prize machines. But I didn't know it was this bad." I looked at her, not sure what I felt. The words didn't sink in right away, but there was no going back after seeing that. I wasn't mad at Kayla. Not really. She was the only one who seemed to get it. But it didn't change anything. "I'm not mad," I said, finally breaking the silence. "I'm just done." Her eyes softened, but she didn't push. She just nodded. We sat there for a moment, neither of us saying anything. The noise of the city outside felt so far away. I realized I wasn't just done with Jenna. I was done with all of it. The lies, the expectations, the constant measuring. I didn't need it. I didn't need any of them. Kayla looked at me again, a little unsure. You sure? Yeah, I said, standing up. I needed space, air, something to ground me. I'm sure. I'd barely closed the door behind me when I heard the knock. The kind of knock that rattles your bones, but you ignore it, hoping it'll go away. But it didn't. I opened the door to find Jenna standing there, her arms crossed, looking like she'd just stepped out of some bad soap opera. Behind her were the rest of her crew. Kayla's sister, Andrea, Lacey, Morgan, and, of course, Rachel, Jenna's cousin, who had her phone out, filming everything. Jenna didn't waste time. She didn't even say hi. We're here to confront the man who broke my cousin's heart for no reason. Her voice had that fake sweetness that made my skin crawl. Marcus, sitting on the couch across from me, grabbed his phone with a smirk. Great, I'm filming the wannabe influencers trespassing. Jenna ignored him. Her eyes locked on me like she was hunting for something. She put on that victim face, the one that worked on everyone else but not me. You humiliated me. You stole my moment. I didn't flinch. I kept my voice steady, calm. You called the truck embarrassing, so I sold it. You're upset because I agreed with you. She froze for a second, and for a second, I thought maybe I'd gotten through. Then Lacey chimed in, all smug. A real man doesn't walk away over something small. Marcus snorted from the couch. A real woman doesn't act like a car defines her life. That set Rachel off. She shot back. You're never going to find anyone better. No one is ever going to love you the way Jenna does. She said it like she was some kind of expert on love, like she knew anything about it. Jenna was already on her next move. She stepped forward, her heels clicking against the wood floor like a countdown to her next demand. You have until Friday. Buy a luxury car or we're done. Her tone was flat, like she was making a business transaction, not a relationship decision. I felt the laugh come up before I could stop it. We've been done since Tuesday. Her face twisted, her eyes going wide like she couldn't believe I'd said that out loud. She took a step closer, her voice rising. You can't end it. I didn't agree to that. I don't need your permission, I said, holding my ground. Then she dropped the bomb. You stole from me. You owe me. I'm suing you for emotional theft. Her voice was shaking now, like she was trying to convince herself as much as me. I blinked, trying to keep my cool. Emotional theft? I repeated slowly, like I was tasting the words. So, now I'm the bad guy for ending a relationship that you already checked out of? Jenna's eyes narrowed, and I knew she wasn't done. Her face was red, her mouth working like she was looking for the next insult to throw. Marcus stood up from the couch. This is your idea of closure? You're gonna sue him over a car. He was shaking his head, like he couldn't believe it either. A real man doesn't chase someone who's already gone. And a real woman doesn't act like their worth is tied to a price tag. The words hit, and I could see Jenna's fists clench at her sides. Her eyes flicked from me to Marcus, then back to me. But before she could say anything else, Rachel piped up again, her voice shaking with fury. You're going to regret this. She's the best thing that ever happened to you. No one's gonna love you like she did. I shrugged. Maybe, but I'm not looking for love with a price tag. Jenna took another step forward, her lips trembling with anger. You're making a mistake. You'll never find anyone better. Then I guess I'm a fool, I muttered, more to myself than anyone else. She glared at me, but I didn't flinch. I'd seen enough. I'd heard enough. The girl I thought I knew? She wasn't here anymore. Finally, she spun around, barking orders at her friends to follow her. Come on, she snapped. We're leaving. But Rachel stayed behind, still filming, still smirking like she had some big victory in her pocket. I looked at Marcus. It's over. Marcus just smiled. Yeah, man, it's been over. And that was it. They left. They all left, and for the first time in a long while I felt a little lighter. Not because I was glad to be rid of Jenna, but because I'd finally made the choice to leave her behind. That night, I was scrolling through my phone when I saw the notification. Rachel's video had gone up. Of course. It was titled, Toxic Ex Destroys My Cousin Over a SAR. I could feel my blood pressure spike. I hit play. The video started with Jenna standing in front of Marcus's door, trying to play the victim, her voice trembling as she recounted her horrible heartbreak. I was in the background, calm and collected, saying exactly what I had to say. But of course, Rachel edited it to make me look like the bad guy. The caption, "Toxic ex destroys my cousin over a CR," was a punch to the gut. It was a flat-out lie, but I knew it wouldn't matter. Jenna's crowd always saw her as the victim. The comments started rolling in almost immediately, and I could already tell they weren't on her side. "So he didn't want to buy her a new car and she's mad?" One person wrote. Another one, "You dodged a leech king." I sat there staring at the screen for a while, that sinking feeling still gnawing at me. My ex, her whole squad, out there making me look like the asshole. But the comments made me feel a little less crazy, a little less like I was the only one who saw the truth. Then Jenna got busy. I knew it was coming. She flooded her socials with moody posts, her latest attempt to twist everything. "Betrayed by the one I trusted most," she wrote in one post, followed by an old couple selfie of us from a weekend trip we'd taken. The caption read, "Thought he was different. Felt like a punch." Like she was still trying to make me the villain in this story. But what hit me hardest was the next post. A picture of my Bronco, sitting in the driveway. She'd snapped it that last day we were together, right before I sold it. The caption under it, "Imagine being told your love is worth a rusty old truck." I stared at the image, my hands tight around my phone. That truck, the one I'd spent months restoring with my own two hands. And now she was using it against me. I could feel the anger bubbling up, but I wasn't going to let her have the last word. I dug through my old texts, found the one where she'd demanded the car upgrade. The text was sitting there like the smoking gun. So I posted it. A screenshot of her words. "Time to trade up." I didn't even write anything else. Just posted it with the caption, "Imagine measuring love by a car." It was like dropping a match in a dry field. The response was instant. People piled on. Some called me a hero for standing up for myself. Some were disgusted by her, saying it was obvious she didn't care about me, only what I could give her. The flood of support felt like a breath I didn't know I'd been holding in. Jenna's post, the one with the Bronco, was gone within hours. I watched as she deleted it. It wasn't even a "sorry, my bad" moment. It was just a quiet retreat, her attempt at salvaging whatever dignity she had left. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel great about any of this. But I was tired of being the one who had to clean up someone else's mess. So I kept my post up. People saw the truth. And that was all I could control. I tossed my phone onto the couch, a bitter taste in my mouth. The day was over, but the war was just beginning. I had no idea how far Jenna would go to get her way. But one thing was clear. She wasn't going to get away with this. Not without the truth getting out there. The wedding was supposed to be my big, we did it moment, the culmination of everything Jenna and I had been building. A destination wedding in Mexico, perfect venue, catering, flights for our families, all planned. I put down deposits for everything, mostly on my credit card. It was a stupid amount of money, but I thought it was worth it. I was ready to lock in that future, make her happy. But now, I was done. So I canceled it all. I remember sitting there, one call after another, telling the venues and the hotels that I needed refunds. I'd lose a couple thousand, sure, but I didn't care. That was the cost of freedom. The total hit was about $1,800, but I got $10,000 back for the refundable flight packages and other stuff. I smiled a little when the final emails came through. The money didn't matter, what mattered was I was taking control back. I didn't expect Jenna to find out so fast. She texted me the next day. "I just got an email from the hotel. What did you do?" I didn't respond. Later that afternoon, I was working at the warehouse, just unloading packages, when the door flew open, and there she was, Jenna, standing there, eyes wide with fury. "What the hell did you do?" She stormed in like she owned the place. I froze. The other guys on the floor looked up. My stomach dropped. "You stole my wedding," she screamed, her voice cutting through the warehouse like a knife. Before I could say anything, security was already on it. They came up behind her, asking her to leave. She screamed even louder, cursing me out, accusing me of ruining her life. I could feel the heat on my neck, my heart pounding, but I didn't flinch. I didn't engage. Security had to escort her out. One of the guys on the team looked at me, like he wasn't sure whether to feel bad or just confused. My boss, Tom, stepped up after they'd gotten her outside. He looked at me, worried. "You good, man?" I exhaled slowly, trying to keep it together. "Yeah, I finally am." Tom nodded, but I saw the doubt in his eyes. He didn't know the whole story. Hell, no one did. Not really. The day dragged on, and I kept my head down, working like it was any other day. But deep down, I could feel the weight of everything piling up. She wasn't going to let this go. That afternoon, I came home to a letter sitting on the counter. It was from a lawyer. I opened it and I had to read it 3 times to believe it. Jenna was taking me to small claims court for $20,000. The letter laid out her claims: breach of promise, emotional harm, theft of joint funds, my credit card, and reputational sabotage. She actually tried to label my decision to cancel the wedding as some form of financial theft. She wanted $20,000 from me for all the hurt I'd caused. I laughed. It was bitter, angry, but I laughed. This was insane. She was seriously going to try to make this a legal thing, like I owed her something? I tossed the letter on the table. It was comical, pathetic, but I knew one thing. This wasn't going to be over anytime soon. She was in full damage control mode, and I was just the guy in the way. But this time I wasn't backing down. I didn't even bother trying to fight the lawsuit on my own. I called my cousin Mark, who was a lawyer, and asked him to look it over. He read through the papers and then laughed. "She's suing you for not marrying her? This is comedy." I felt a bit of relief, knowing it wasn't just me thinking this was insane. Mark walked me through the next steps. We filed a countersuit for harassment and got the paperwork together for a restraining order. 500 feet. No contact. Simple. But I wasn't expecting what would come next. The day of the court hearing, Jenna showed up in a white dress. A wedding dress. Her heels clicked loudly against the hard floors as she walked into the courtroom, like she was getting ready for a damn ceremony. It hit me then. She wasn't just trying to get money from me. She was trying to humiliate me, drag me back into her world, and control the narrative even here. She was ready for her moment, but she wasn't going to get it. The judge was an older guy, no nonsense, and it was clear he wasn't impressed. He sat back in his chair, eyes narrowing as Jenna started presenting her evidence. She pulled out our texts, old photos of us, and then, of course, a spreadsheet detailing all the things she claimed I had cost her in potential income. Couldn't even believe it. She was acting like I'd stolen from her career or some shit. When she finished talking, the judge looked at her like she was the one who just walked in off the street. "Miss Jenna," he said, his voice dry, "you're suing because he ended an engagement after you criticized his proposal vehicle?" She jumped in, trying to explain. "It's out of context," she said, her voice quivering like she was trying to sound more sincere than she actually was. The judge didn't miss a beat. "What context makes this better?" he asked, raising an eyebrow like she was a child trying to explain something ridiculous. There was a pause, and then Jenna's mom got up to testify. I almost rolled my eyes. Her mom had been acting like I was the villain the whole time, but now it was like she had to throw in her 2 cents. "My daughter has been traumatized," her mom said, looking at me with the kind of pity only a mother could fake. The judge didn't even blink. "When did she start therapy?" "Last week," her mom replied. The judge glanced at the paperwork and gave her a deadpan look. "After the lawsuit?" Her mom blinked, clearly caught off guard. "Well, yes." The judge shook his head, clearly done with the show. I watched Jenna's face fall as my lawyer, Mark, started laying out the evidence we had. The text where she demanded the car upgrade, the sale receipt for the Bronco, the cancellation documents for the wedding. Then, the real kicker, the videos of her barging into Marcus's house, the 30-plus phone calls she'd made to me, all logged. She looked like she might throw up. The judge didn't take long to decide. He leaned back in his chair and addressed the court, his voice sharp. I'm dismissing the suit. This is not the case for a courtroom. I'll grant the restraining order, 500 feet, no contact. I was half expecting her to protest, but instead, her face turned red as she shot up out of her chair. You can't do this to me, she screamed, her voice high-pitched and cracking. The judge just stared at her. We're done here. I swear, I could almost feel the weight of the room shift. Jenna stood there for a second, her fists clenched, her chest heaving. Then, without another word, she turned and stormed out of the courtroom, her heels clicking on the floor like a countdown. I exhaled, feeling a kind of calm I hadn't known in months. I didn't know how this would play out long-term, but at least for today, I wasn't the one getting crushed under the weight of her demands. The judge had seen through it, and that somehow felt like a victory. Mark gave me a nod. You're good, man. I smiled, but it wasn't because I won. It was because for the first time in a while, I felt like I was standing on solid ground again. The day after the court ruling, things got a lot messier than I expected. Jenna stormed off, but Rachel didn't let up. She started having people DM me trying to get around the restraining order. I blocked every single one of them. No hesitation. I didn't want to be dragged back into that mess. It didn't stop with her. As the weeks went on, Kayla's screenshots, those texts from the Fiancée League, became public. They were part of the evidence I submitted in court, but when they hit the internet, everything exploded. Kayla never expected it to go that far, but there they were, out in the open for anyone to see. Kayla's fiancé was the first one to react. He saw the Fiancée League score sheet, the way Jenna had rated him like some kind of product. His response? He dumped her. There was no "we need to talk," or "maybe we can fix this." He was done. Then it was Morgan's guy. Apparently, she'd rated him a solid 6.5 with decent credit. And once he saw that, he bailed too. I could only imagine how it felt to be reduced to a number. But hey, that's what she wanted. Lacey's dude found out that she'd been trying to get pregnant on purpose to lock him down. That didn't go over well. He disappeared too. And by then, it felt like everything was crumbling. Each of them, one by one, unraveling because of a group chat full of manipulative games. But the best part? Diana, the quiet one who'd always seemed like she was just going along with everything, went nuclear. She posted the entire group chat online. Said she needed to clear her name. In one swift move, she exposed everything. All their Fiancée League scores. All the calculations about who was worth what. The comments started coming in hot and fast. Treating men like vending machines. One person wrote. Another said, "These women are psycho." And that was just the start. The internet went wild, roasting them alive. What had been some secret little clique was now out in the open, and there was nowhere to hide. The group chat imploded. Everyone blamed each other for the fallout, trying to deflect the heat onto someone else. Kayla messaged me again, a few days later, the tone of her message more honest than it had been before. "It's a mess. I'm sorry for what happened. I didn't think it would blow up like this." I read it a few times. It wasn't the apology I wanted, but it was one I'd accept. I typed out my reply, slow and deliberate. So was I. Glad I cleaned it up. I didn't feel satisfaction, not really, but I felt lighter. I wasn't angry anymore. Not at her or anyone else in that twisted circle. I was done with all of it. What mattered was that I had walked away, and the rest. Let them fight for the scraps they'd left behind. The fallout from everything hit Jenna's career pretty fast. She worked in event coordination, and once the viral gold digger story picked up speed, her company had no choice but to react. They didn't fire her, but they sure as hell demoted her. She got stuck in admin work, answering emails and doing the kind of grunt work no one cares about. I don't think anyone at her job could take her seriously after everything that came out. She tried to bounce back, though, took a shot at dating again. I heard through the grapevine that every guy she matched with recognized her. They'd see her profile and think, "Isn't this car girl?" Some even screenshot her photos, laughing about it in the comments. I'm sure it felt like she was living a nightmare. I didn't care. She'd earned every bit of it. Her socials? They went quiet. Not a peep for weeks, like she was laying low, trying to figure out how to fix her image. But Rachel, she couldn't stay away. She kept watching my stories, through fake accounts, of course. I noticed the views. I don't know if it was for a sense of control or just because she couldn't let it go, but I saw her lurking there, like she was looking for any reason to reach out. I'm not sad about it. Honestly, it's pathetic. All of them stuck in this cycle of denial and ego. They thought they could use me, control me, and now they were scrambling. Jenna had built her life around the idea that she could trade up, that I was a stepping stone, and when that fell apart, she couldn't handle it. Rachel wasn't any better, still clinging to whatever scraps of their glory they could find. I blocked the fake accounts, of course. I didn't want any part of their mess. I just kept moving forward. Things were quieter now, and honestly, felt better that way. I met Melissa through Marcus's cousin at a party. She was different, not like Jenna, who always had to be the center of attention. Melissa was relaxed, easygoing, like she didn't care if you noticed her or not. But once you did, you couldn't stop. Our first date was low-key, just coffee and a walk in the park. She insisted we split the check. I liked that. It wasn't about impressing each other. It was real, no games. On our second date, she brought homemade pasta. No restaurant. No fancy meal, just her, some fresh ingredients, and the kind of effort that meant more than anything you could buy. I couldn't remember the last time someone had put that kind of thought into something. It was nice. Real nice. By the third date, I was starting to get comfortable with the idea of someone who wasn't looking for a deal. But that night, while we were talking, she pulled out her phone to check something and saw a post about Car Girl. My ex, of course. She laughed. A short, easy sound. "Wait," she said, eyes widening. "That's your ex." I nodded, half expecting her to pull back or have some opinion. Melissa just grinned. "You really did dodge a bullet." I smiled, feeling a weight lift off me. With her, it was like nothing from the past had to follow me around. It was just us, and that was enough. 8 months later, things felt different in a way I hadn't even known I was missing. She wasn't perfect, but she was real, and that mattered more than anything. For her birthday, I gave her a custom gearshift necklace. It was made from part of the Bronco I had kept, the piece that had meant so much to me. I didn't want a reminder of the past, but this piece, this one was different, felt right. When she posted a picture of it online, she didn't write a caption about its worth or its value. She didn't talk about how much it cost. It was simple. Love in every detail. That was it. No price tag. No flex. Just joy. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I was looking over my shoulder. What happened with Jenna? All of it? It felt so far away now, and I was finally starting to feel like myself again. Someone who wasn't tied to the past, to expectations, or to someone else's idea of what I should be. Last week, I got a screenshot from Kayla. She had sent me a post from Jenna's socials. Jenna was engaged again, this time to a crypto entrepreneur she'd met at a networking retreat. Her 3-carat ring was gleaming in every picture, like she was holding an Olympic medal. I didn't care about the ring, but the internet sure did. The comments piled up fast. "That's glass. Crypto guy drives a Civic with one door painted." Jenna's mom weighed in too, like she always did, commenting, "So proud of my baby." Yeah. She got exactly what she deserved. I wasn't bitter. I didn't want her to fail or be miserable. But the reality was I was done. It was her life to live, and I was finally living mine. My cousin Mark, ever the jokester, had framed the court documents and put them up in his office. Underneath, he wrote, "Exhibit A and Y red flags aren't decorations." It made me laugh every time I saw it. I guess that's what family's for, helping you see the humor in the mess you've come out of. Marcus still tells the story at BBQs, too. He always ends it the same way. "I didn't help him leave. I helped him wake up." And that stuck with me. Marcus wasn't just my friend. He was the guy who kept me from drowning in someone else's chaos. As for the $9,000 from the Bronco sale, half of it went into a business course I'd been eyeing for a while. The other half, I went to Iceland, alone. I needed to get out, clear my head. That trip was everything I didn't know I needed. I posted one picture. Me standing on the edge of a glacier, arms spread wide, feeling more alive than I had in years. Less than 10 minutes later, I saw Rachel had viewed it. Another fake account, of course. Not sad, just pathetic. Do I regret any of it? Honestly, no. I regret not seeing it sooner, that I was worth more than what I was being told I was worth. If someone ever tries to make you feel like you're not enough because of money or stuff, trust me, they don't love you. They love what you can give them. And when they show you who they are, believe them.